Hey, sorry guys. Excuse me. Hey folks, this is Brian. Excuse me, man. It's on my throat. So I got a chance to play Runequest RQG with my son and a couple of his friends last night. Man, excuse me. And I've got a handful of the convention games because I run games at conventions for Chaosium. And so I'm going through. I've got like four or maybe five. Plus, there's this preview adventure from the Pegasus Plateau set that's out as well. So there's these opportunities of adventures that I've got. Some are recommended or designed for certain seasons, and so I'm trying to place, okay, where can I sit stuff? Because my idea is, okay, so I just do a session a season kind of thing, make it nice and slow, give them, lots of opportunities, and we don't need to run through things really fast. I am going to run Battle of Five Queens during fire season in 1626. But I also need to try and pull a layout of timeline of what else happens that year, and big kingdom, principality type events that are going on, that kind of thing, to help flush out some. We're not just doing adventure after adventure. There's actually a world here doing stuff. This was going on in my head, and Darkness at Runegate talks about soon after the Dragon Rise, there's all this confusion. Queen Laika is getting control of the Kalimar tribe. The Lord of Runegate is kind of sitting back, is trying to watch and see how the dust settles before he makes a decision on what he's going to do. So okay, that'll fit the beginning of Dark Seasons with Earth Season having the Dragon Rise and all that kind of stuff, right? So we're doing Darkness at Runegate for this one. We have a discussion up front about, again, here's the layout, here's the tribe, these are the clans. Since one of the players, my son, is playing a noble, I had him take Harmast's position from the pre-generated set. So he's the son of the clan head for the Urnaldori clan. Now that's fairly significant. And there's a point later on where I really should have let him play the way he wanted, instead of kind of scoffing him off. But anyway, so Queen Laika has taken charge, and somehow there's a discussion that brings out her bow. I think it's called Ballista. I remember making a comment about it doing 3d6 plus 1 damage. And my son, who's on a hunt for a vampire sword, that when you hit, part of the damage you do gets flown back to you to heal. And obviously, magic in RuneQuest doesn't really fit that kind of thing. But then there are things like this bow, which does this massive amount of damage, because it's magic, no other reason for it. It's certainly not some kind of speed dart on acid or anything. So there's a level of magic capability that's way above the normal magic the players mess with. And I have no problem with that. And in fact, I've used and have that in the back of my head already. But where's this stuff come from? I assumed it was some kind of hero quest kind of thing. And so that's how I'm separating normal magical items from, I don't want to call them artifacts, but artifact type magical items. So there's some mention about, the Lord of Runegate has not, presented himself to Queen Laika, and they would know that because he's a noble, so he's hearing stuff, right? But why is the party going to Runegate? So I have previously put a thing in, they were expecting a shipment of horses and they haven't got them. Horsetown, I have Runegate running Horsetown for that kind of stuff. I mean, they're a commerce section, right? Makes sense. And Horsetown's just kind of like a factory. So they, go over to Runegate to find out what's going on, why haven't we received our horses, that kind of thing, right? Looking at the map, I should probably pull one out, but looking at the map, there are two, well, the scenario has you going to Runegate via Apple Lane. And there, sure enough, there's a trade road from Apple Lane to Runegate. But there's a trade route from Clearwine over to well, where the Grey Dogs are, right? And then up to Runegate from there. On the other side, if you go north from Kalimar into the hills and stuff to Blackspear, there's trade road, right? But there's no trade route between Blackspear and Apple Lane. Now, I have seen a map somewhere that shows like a trail or something. Because it only makes sense that within the Kalimar tribe, you would have trade routes to all of your key places. Instead of having to go to another tribe and move up and around. Yeah, little picky things like that. I was actually in the Marine Corps. Part of the thing is nitpicking people's stuff, so that things make sense. And I do that. Consciously or not, I don't know. But anyway. So, okay, they get to Apple Lane. The reason they get to Runegate. The reason coming through Apple Lane is because they want them to come in through the East Gate, the Luck Rune, the Rune Gate, that kind of thing, right? So there's some discussion about the Crimson Bat having come and crushed the city, but the gate survived, and people who were hiding underneath the gate lived, that kind of thing. And they come up and they're stopped by the guards. You have to wait for Severos. And I get out there, this is not normal. Normally they'll have a mounted patrol come out and greet you, that kind of stuff. But players, and I'll mention this a couple times probably as I go through this, are not so much interested in role playing as in rolling skills and killing monsters. So anyway, I have them make some rolls as they're coming up. They see the smoke plumes. Hunter gets a crit on his scan, and so he knows there's 25 of them out there. About 25. Don't make it precise. Now that are inside the city, right? Plus there's some out front here. And then while they're waiting around for Severos, there's another scan roll. And you'll notice if you get your hands on this thing that it's using old Runequest terminology. Like find hidden or spot hidden and something else for these perception skills. And I'm reading through the transcript thing, so that's what I'm saying. I'll have to stop me. No, I mean scan. I mean search. That kind of thing. Oh, but anyway, so I do notice the hoof prints. The first thing my son says, "Brew." Is that metagaming? I don't know. People know about brew, right? But I've never really seen one. I mean, how prolific are they in civilized areas? Yeah, they've been previously adventuring with all the wars and stuff, but I don't know. But I let it flow. And then there's actually a discussion on brew. I didn't get quite detailed about the whole chaos fertility thing. Just how they're different. Some have horse heads, some have ram heads, that kind of stuff. So Sever shows up, puffing out his authority and that kind of thing. And we have a little discussion about power levels, political power levels, and that kind of thing. And my son is thinking reputation. Doesn't matter how big your reputation is if you're just, a farmer from the back hills of Ernaldori, Now, admittedly, he's son of the clan head, so he's got some stuff to raise with that. And they did some significant things during all the different wars and stuff. So this is like 26, I think, maybe. Yeah. Anyway, so he's trying to, I'm a big man kind of thing, but this is Runegate. I'm the son of the clan head. I'm your peer, if nothing else, right? Plus, you're in my place, so I take priority. Then there's the guard that comes running up. Several, she gotta come quickly. Something terrible has happened. Um, and Severus looks at the players and say, "I'm not done with you yet. Come with me." And then turns and leaves. That's because he's got a chip on his shoulder and he's heard about what happened with the whole Broken Tower situation and stuff, and Danikos and all that. But it seems to me that if he's really concerned about his position and that kind of thing, who just left him there at the gate. Stay here. I'm not done with you. I'll be back. That's how I think he would act. But anyway, party goes with him. They go into the Lightbringer temple, and I describe all the stuff there. And there's some comments about they're truly cursed, and now they hear she's been murdered, and all that kind of stuff. And what timeline here? Yeah. So it seems to me there might be an issue with the timeline. The players get there at about 10 o'clock in the morning. The murder occurred about 6 o'clock in the morning. Now, I understand before daylight or whatever, early morning stuff, people aren't necessarily going to Lightbringer Temple. 4 hours before somebody notices, somebody goes into the temple and sees all this mess. 10 o'clock in the morning, because it's like 10:30 when they get to the actual whole mess stuff. And it just seems like there's an issue with this timeline. There's a lot of dead time in this scenario as well. Okay, so I described the scene. There's this dead middle-aged woman. She's been torn apart by some kind of beast. There are talon marks in the mud and blood going towards the door, but they stop part way. There is mud and blood and gore everywhere. What are you going to do? I don't know. What do we do? These guys are still kids, I guess. So I kind of probably, okay, are you going to look around? You're going to search for stuff, clues, that kind of thing. And so they make some search rolls because they're forced to roll dice. And they do notice the chaos, the scratchings of the chaos runes over all the defacing scratches that have been made. The scenario says that the talon footprints stop and then human footprints start. You're going to give that away? Besides, how many people have been in and out of this place already? I mean, there's footprints. Yeah, and then there's claw prints and they stop. Now, maybe if they were doing a search and got a special or maybe a crit, you could say, well, the way these talon marks go, this next step should be theirs, and that's a footprint. A barefoot footprint. Not a sandal, not a boot, barefoot. So that I could see that happening, but it doesn't matter because they didn't make the rolls. Anyway, they at that point there's a transition to the meeting hall. I'm going to go see my father, and so they go to the meeting, the great hall, and there's a little discussion there about how big it is, but it's kind of empty. There's a few guards by the fire in the middle, and there's this hacking coffin in the back in the shadows you can't see. Then Severus comes, and his father, I forgot his name, comes forward, being led by a young woman. It's obviously, well, it's not. It is his daughter, right? But you can't just say it's his daughter because they don't know that it's his daughter. Although, maybe if I had them roll reputation for her, that would work. Except that in the write-up, she doesn't have a reputation. Severus has a reputation. His father has a reputation. She does have a ransom, and it's 700 lunars, so it's significant. Anyway, so the first thing they ask is, how cute is she? and the Orlanthe noble starts to flirt with her, but obviously she's more concerned with her father and his health, so she kind of rebuffs him. I could have maybe played that a little more coyly. Now that I think, coyly, is that right? Now that I think about it, because he is the son of a clan head, just like she is the daughter of a clan head, kind of thing. So they are peers, and it would make sense. So that's a possible run for the future. And I even kind of mentioned, maybe through the Thane of Apple Lane, because after I get done with these starter scenarios, I gotta go somewhere, right? So first I'm gonna go to the old stuff, and then I'll go to the new stuff. And there's like 3 scenarios for Apple Lane, and I've got to figure out a time way to stage those out so they make sense. But anyway, so obviously he's sick. So there's a discussion of disease and disease spirits, and they put some disease rules in the scenario that I think are pulled right from the book. I don't recall offhand. I didn't make a comparison because I wasn't that worried about it. But you can catch diseases from people who have diseases, right? You interact with them, and then you have to make a Constitution ×5 roll to see if you pick it up. And if you miss that, then it's a mild case, and you keep making rolls until you make it con ×5. So you make your con ×5. And then that's the level of severity you get, all the way to severe or extreme, whatever. You're taking disease points, subtracting your cost, subtracting your stat, whatever is brain fever's intelligence, and that's the first one they run into, really, is brain fever. Until it's like capping in every full turn kind of thing, in which case, in an hour you're dead. That kind of stuff, right? First, really weak. Every week you get to roll to heal and that kind of stuff. So there's a discussion about that kind of stuff, and it got me thinking, because we're talking about spirit combat. People know spirit combat in order to fight disease spirits and other spirit attack kind of things. Everybody knows spirit combat, right? Because the disease spirits, if nothing else, is everywhere. You have to be able to defend yourself. The disease spirit attacks, you defend, right? And it almost seems like you should only be able to pick up a disease from a disease spirit. So a disease spirit shows up, attacks, you lose, it possesses you, and until it runs into somebody else, and it attacks them until it, possesses them, and that's how it spreads as the disease spirit, moving from person to person to person. That's how I kind of see that should be, but that's not apparently how the rules are written. I did run through that again. Yeah. And I think it's how it's played out in the rule book, because my other party, they ran to Brew and picked up some diseases from them. So there's a discussion about that. They're afraid to go and pick up a disease from the old man. They talk with the Thane. They get a few pieces of more information about this. There's this new healer. She didn't show up. I don't know who she is or where she is. People are talking. I'm hearing bits and pieces of stuff because nobody talks to me. Apparently she is healing people, because there are people who are no longer sick. That's the rumors coming around. Did you hear about Bob's uncle? He's no longer sick. That kind of thing. He's on this new healer. That kind of stuff. It's eventually up to the Thane, right? So, or the clan head. So all that goes through, and then, okay, what now? And it kind of, why don't you go look around for it? That's what they want. They want to find the healer. In fact, they're positive that the healer is the one who's responsible for the killing of the Shalana Roy priestess. But they're thinking it's some kind of chaos bird creature. And so I looked up, and that would fit a harpy. But do they know about harpies? I mean, how prevalent are harpies, right? There's a scenario out there. Tower, 2 clans meet every year to battle out who has control of this piece of the land, and while they're planning that or doing that, harpies are attacking a sky bowl kind of thing. So they are around, but do people really know about harpies? I don't know. So they're pretty sure that the healer's behind all this kind of stuff, right? And they want to go find her and kill her. So, okay, let's go search for it. Let's go wander around town. Let's see what we can find. And as soon as they step out, they run into a woman with 2 children, and she is severely sick with brain fever. Not they know that. So is one of the children, and she begs them for help. Take my children to my family. My kinfolk can get here and take care of them. And so they kind of, okay, we'll take the children now. What do we do? well, let's go to the inn so we can set them up in a room and isolate them and that kind of stuff, right? And somewhere around this point, I think that one of the players asked about, did you pick this scenario for this reason? Because of the coronavirus, that kind of stuff. No, it's not. Okay, so they head towards Last Chance Inn, which is recommended by the clan guy, the Lord of Runegate. And as they're going there along the way, they run into an old farmer who's up against the wall, and he's just too sick to do much of anything. He's begging for help. Help me, help me. I'm dying, help. I can't take care of my farm. Well, there's no anything they can do. It's like, sorry, dude. And get to the inn. Discussion about the guy, the dark troll in the back, and they all start, yeah, let's get some food. What does Dark Troll make? That kind of stuff. Give me a good big hefty steak and that kind of stuff. And there's some discussion. Well, cows are worth a lot of money. You don't just have steak all the time. It's probably chickens. Yeah, and I'm putting or stew or something. Doesn't matter. But they book rooms for them and a room for the kids and put them away. They didn't discuss with the innkeeper that kinfolk are coming for the kids, but I kind of assumed they would, or I would prompt. I should have prompted. So what are you doing with those kids? What are they here for? That kind of thing. So they order food. They get the room, so that gives them the bonus. The hunter tries to make some discussion with the dude, with the innkeeper, misses that roll. The Runegate noble does his spiel. I think he uses his constitution, his charisma times 5, and makes the roll. The shaman tried to make some comments too, and he missed the roll. And this is gonna be long, guys. Sorry. And but the noble made his roll, so there's some discussion going on to get out that there's these followers of the kindly one. They come by from time to time. He makes a spiel about it's awful convenient that disease outbreak hits, and then a healer shows up and she can take care of it all. Too convenient, if you ask me. Good lines. But anyway, so they have to wait again. What time is it? It's afternoon sometime, but the kindly ones who show up don't show up until 4 in the afternoon. So you're here for at least like 3 hours, maybe 2. You eat, you chat, sit back, watch the fire. What are you gonna do, right? A lot of dead time in this scenario. Usually the followers kindly when they show up, there's 5 of them. They've got names. They've all got diseases, but they've been cured. So the disease is no longer affecting their stats, but they're still holding the disease so they can transmit it. So the Glorantha noble, up front, we understand you know this healer chick. We need to see her. My friend here is sick. Can you take her to us? And they order food and drink and stuff, and they agree. Sure, yeah, we can do that. And it's kind of odd how you've got to make these rolls, get information out of them, but they're actually, if you make the insight human roll, that you can notice that they're really desperate for somebody to come with them. Then proselytize, get people to come with you, right? Oh, and when they go to engage with the followers, that triggers in my memory. Oh yeah, you guys have to roll for against brain fever and pick it up from the child, right? So they all rolls. They make it, except for the hunter. He actually misses first roll, so he's got a mild case of brain fever. He loses a point of intelligence. And there's, where do we get that from? So they talk with the followers. Okay, everybody has to make more constitution rolls. They all made it this time. Well, they didn't all make it because the one who's actually involved with trying to talk to these people is the Runegate noble, so I have him roll actually twice because he says you can be affected by up to 2 diseases at a time, kind of thing. So he made both his rolls, and I'm generally suspicious my son just in general because he doesn't like to lose. And he's making rolls left and right and left and right. I start to question in the back of my head how accurate those die rolls are. But I'm not watching. I'm not picking on him. It's just something in the back of my head that keeps rolling through. And at this point, it's fairly obvious that the players themselves aren't really all that interested in role playing their character in the situation. They just kind of role play their character and roll dice and stuff. But that's the group I have. They're young and they do a couple of dumb things. Making dumb comments, that kind of thing. The followers go like, pull out my sword, I chase one of them down. Honestly, you gonna do that? So I let them get that kind of stuff out, and then I'll ask them, what are you gonna do? Okay, what do you do? And this will come up again later on. So it's 4 o'clock when they show up. They don't leave until like 7. More dead time in the scenario. So they get up and go. They bring the party with them. They go to the healer's house, which is in Newtown, but nowhere on the map is Newtown located, right? When I first ran this scenario, I missed that Newtown piece, or maybe I just interpreted it differently as being part about something. But in the scenario, go to the healer's house, even if you're not participating, right? The followers come to the healer's house. They do some kind of preparatory stuff, chat, that kind of thing. Hours later, they leave. Isn't Runegate closed down? They've got freaking diseases everywhere. Aren't the guards closing the gates? Why are they letting people out in the middle of the night? So I had pictured the healer's one room house being, a cabin out in the woods, partway to the holy area, right? And so the people are leaving in the evening, and that's fine because people leave in the evening. They go out, to their farms or whatever. But she's supposed to get there at midnight. The 3 hour, in the dark without light, is take you 3 hours. It's 6 kilometers, right? And people walk at 3.5 miles an hour. It's like less than 5. So if you get down to 4, it's an hour and a half walk, kind of thing. Maybe 2. And she's supposed to be there midnight, so leaving at 10. So leaving the house at 10. Yeah, more dead time in this scenario. So you think healer's house. The followers go in, make a quick description of the house itself. It's fairly bare. There, herbs drying in the rafters. There's a small fire, a pot on it. She's sitting on a stool. A brief description of her. And the first thing out of his mouth is, "We kill her." Again, young guys, we need to mature that. So, there's this greeting situation. She puts her hand on your face and on your shoulder and makes some kind of greeting thing, and brings the people in. And then she sees the players, and it makes them bold out there. She's almost angry. Her smile drops, and she seems angry about these other people being here. And then it says, if they make the roll. And as I'm reading through this, if they make the roll, but the words are already out, so I don't make them roll. I need to change. For this scenario, I did a cut and paste, or I kind of set it up in the way I expect to do that. I have lots of boxed out information. Take care of all this stuff. This is just background. Don't worry about it. In colors, I got skill rolls highlighted in colors. I got combat type situations highlighted in colors. I've got quotations for actual verbiage that goes on, that kind of stuff. And I do a copy paste. That's how I put it all together. But I missed that part about this is a skill roll. Don't tell them this stuff. So there's discussion at this point about, hey, we want to come with you. We've got our sick friend here. And although she was talking about something, she pointed out that the guy was sick first. So she knows that. And then there's a question of, well, how does she know that? And there's discussion about, full shamans have got second sight up all the time. And then there's, rune spells, this kind of thing, and they can be extended for, a season, a year, that kind of stuff. So there's a quick discussion about those kinds of rules there. And so she makes her spiel about sacrificing 10 magic points, and I will take it to the worship service. And they really bulk of that because one of the players only has 11 magic points. So I just and how do you convey across? Give me 10 points of your mana, or give me half of a human's magic capability. No, that doesn't make sense. But well, that almost makes sense. But what I end up doing is, okay, give me half of your magic. Give me half. Power is what she should have said. That's the words she should. Give me half of your power. Obviously, it's not physical power, not personal power. Your POW. It's your magic points is what she wants, and I could see that being conveyed properly. Then there's a discussion about sacrificing magic points at worship services, and they're kind of worried about, well, will she just take all these magic points and be that much tougher? And while they're all in this discussion, I'm skimming through the booklet text and stuff, and she has a magic power storage crystal. It's only 6 points, but it's empty. Why is it empty? She's had all day, if not more, to just throw a point in, because you're going to regenerate it in a couple of hours. Throw a point in, you're regenerating in a couple of hours. She's also got another crystal in there, some kind of amplifying crystal. I don't remember too much about it. But anyway, they're making this discussion. Oh, that's true. She can take those magic points because she can't hold them. Because I don't think normal people have the capability. There's a spell to be able to hold more magic points than you have power. At least in Runequest 3 there was. This was probably a sorcery thing. But anyway, so she obviously can't take the magic points. They're just kind of expending them out. But she does have that magic storage crystal. So the hunter's kind of scanning around. They're kind of thinking, okay, are there any secret doors? Is there anything that could be hiding, that kind of stuff? So he's making a scan roll as he's looking around. And he created that one. So he sees that she's got her hand in a belt pouch. Because she's holding on to magic storage crystal, because they're going to give her magic points. She's going to fill that sucker up, right? And they give her the magic points because she's kind of surprised. But they don't make that roll. And so again, they wait around. And then they leave. In the middle of the night, they depart, they head out west, and then they head north towards this forested area. A couple hours later, they get there. It's now it's about midnight, right? When they get there, because she's scheduled to be there at midnight. And they've got the 5 followers, and they've got the 3 PCs, and they get to the area, the opening area, the clearing, as it's called. Although they don't know this, but this clearing was made from a drop of blood from the Crimson Bat, so it's a chaos area, which is why she's up here. Oh, when you're trying to discern her facial features, stuff like that, it's inside human, but she is an ogre. Do we really need to be that precise, or can we use inside human on all kinds of different humanoid type creatures like trolls or ducks or brew or anything like that? Maybe, I don't know. They did try inside human to see if there's lying, and she wasn't lying. She can use those power storage crystal for the service ceremony stuff. She can use it for magic points for stuff. So I do have her heal him here. After they sacrifice the magic points, she goes ahead and does the cure brain fever on him, so he gets his point intelligence back. Although I probably need to look and see if he actually gets it back right then, or is it just an automatic heal roll. But I didn't worry about it too much at that point. Just healing. Shows good faith on her part, right? Okay, so they get to the clearing, and there's a stench there. Urine, wet fur, chaos place, right? All this kinds of stuff, and there are brew there. So this huge stench that comes, and everybody makes a Constitution times 5 saving throw, which is easy, right? Constitution times 5 is easy. Average is times 3. So when people make an average luck roll, it's power times 3, not power times 5. That's easy, right? So, and Sean misses his, so he's getting sick. He's at minus 20 for all. I said minus 20 for everything, and they all thought about his stats. He's dead. He doesn't have 20 in anything. No. 20 percentile on all his skill rolls and anything he tries to do. Oh, okay. So he's sick, and they march in. The healer goes towards the. I got my map board out, right? And I draw the fire, draw the circle, and this is all forest, right? Fairly thick, well, fairly heavy, not necessarily thick. And here's the fire, and then here's the altar, and the wagon's there, and the guy who drives the wagon's there, or little henchman guy. Um, and they go in, and all of the followers kind of do a semicircle around the bonfire on one side. And I kind of rolled randomly to see where the brew were. And there's two over here, one over here, and two back over here. And they're up against the tree line because they're not really. They're kind of more to watch things and be there in case there's trouble, kind of stuff, than to be actually actively engaged in the worship service. Now, earlier on, if you do some more talking with the followers, it can come out that it's kind of dangerous. There are demons there, that kind of thing, and so it's just what's the word? There's these two sides of the coin, right? We're getting healed, but there's all this nasty, ugly stuff going on. In fact, there's a point if they're talking with the players in the healer's house that they can get one of them to spill that part of the ceremony involves drinking this foul liquid. But anyway, so they're there. The shaman's getting sick. The NPCs are moving out into their position. Okay, are you going to follow them, or are you just going to stop right here? Because they want to know everything. They walk into the open area. They want to know everything before they do anything. Well, no, are you going to stop right there and look around and do stuff, or are you going to kind of look around as you're following everybody? They decide, okay, they're going to took a while. Okay, yeah, we're going to follow them as I'm looking around and see what's going on. And they kind of, okay, they're staging here. Where are you going to stage? You're going to stay far side, near side, middle, here, closer to the woods. What are you going to do? And the noble kind of stands out to the woods. Shaman is moving forward from him right, but the hunter's kind of standing back and he's getting his sling ready. And at that point, we stop. My son kind of hit a wall because he's been staying up way too late with all this nothing going on. He's only working one day this week, and that's actually today. And then I think they're stopping everything after that. He works at a eyeglass optometry place, and he's one of the techs there, an actual real job, thank goodness. And they were doing part-time for a while because they've got all these glassware they need to get out, but they're not taking new people in. They're not doing more new tests and stuff. So it's been shortened work hours, but they're going to stop next week. This is his last day. So they talked to him about unemployment stuff. So I've got to figure that out with him sometime, or his mom might. She's better at that kind of stuff than I am. But that's where we stop, because combat's going to ensue. So I kind of narrate through, okay, she sees what the players are doing, she snaps her fingers and points to them, so the brew are going to attack. So that's where we stop. So we'll start the next session with rolling for initiative, but we don't do that, right? Not Runequest. Statement of intent. Establish your strike rank. Oh, so there was a lot of, like when she had her hand in the pouch, I pull out my sword and I chop her hand off. Guys, so I got to get their silliness out before we get to, okay, what are you going to do? And I'll get more used to that as we go along. They are still in the D&D mind of just attack monsters and roll dice. I'll try to prompt more of this role-playing kind of stuff. Obviously already prompting for them to do things. Obviously I've got my own opinions about the scenario. And hopefully this, in a way, may have been helpful. And we've got Darkness of Runegate, things you can do with it, things to prepare for, that kind of deal. But anyway, 40 minutes, holy cow. Happy gaming.